Sometimes, the best laid plans suck. Episode 8 of My Liberation Notes starts with Mi Jiyoung at work, admitting to the other workers why she likes Mr. Gu. He has no shell. This is her way of poetically referencing the fact that he's very genuine and doesn't pretend to be someone he's not. Her superior, Jun-ho, continues to mutter to himself, cursing about how bad Mi Jiyoung's work is, complete with red markers scribbled over the sheets. One of the other workers suggests she speak to her boyfriend about it. I will do. Mi Jiyoung replies. Gai Jiyoung is still hung up over Taehyun and contemplates whether to message him or no. Through her fumbling, she accidentally sends an emoji with the words I miss you attached to it. She hurriedly course corrects, deleting the initial message and claiming she sent it by mistake. I wonder what it was, comes his reply. Gai Jiyoung clings to those words, allowing her heart to flutter as she constantly sees Taehyun's words everywhere she goes. She takes them with her all the way back home, where Gai Jiyoung asks Gu about him worshipping Mi Jiyoung. She likens it to worshipping Hitler. Good grief. Now, Mi Jiyoung isn't actually at dinner that night, given she's stuck at work late. This causes Gu to feel anxious, especially if him checking his phone is any indication. So naturally, he begins drinking again over at his place. Mi Jiyoung stays late to fix up her work, but she does so by imagining that she's working alongside Mr. Gu. It's a way of focusing her mind, so that even the most mundane and annoying tasks are tolerable. Lo and behold though, he actually comes and sees her at the cafe she's working in, sitting across the room. The next day at work, Mr. Gu fills up his tank at the petrol station. However, the car behind him holds a shadowy figure that seems to recognize him. We'll have more on this later in the recap, but all we need to know right now is that Gu's past is catching up with him. Taehyun prepares to head off and visit Sangpo as Nirvana are selling their second album. Given how far away it is, he's encouraged to let Gai Jiyoung go and buy it. Gai Jiyoung happily does just this, as it gives her a reason to see Taehyun. She even rings him and plays the records on the vinyl player through the phone. Side note. That album is fantastic and highly recommended. Gai Jiyoung leaves the store with a massive smile on her face. He thanks her and even promises to treat her to a nice meal. Remember Do-hwan's plight? Well, we see him here at school after soccer practice taking a sneaky peek into Kwon Wee-su's room. He bemoans his luck with Chang-hee that night, wanting to try and confess his love, but worried that she'll say no, having already made his mind up that she'll reject him outright. As they contemplate what to do, Do-hwan comes up with a crazy plan involving getting into an accident and feigning memory loss, a way of making an excuse if everything goes wrong. Gai Jiyoung overhears all of this with interest and suggests tentatively that she give it a go. Over at Joy, Mi Jiyoung is encouraged to head home early after finishing her work and impressing her boss. Sticking it out and grinding through the hardships has paid dividends, and it means she can see Mr. Gu earlier. Gu, however, happens to be in the supermarket, and he thinks twice about buying alcohol. When he steps out, he bumps into Mi Jiyoung, who admits she almost hugged him on the way back. The shop assistant watches them leave together, muttering to herself that Mi Jiyoung is doing a great deed. Remember what we said about Gu's past? Well, he receives a worried call from his contact in Seoul. Apparently, Sam Sik was the name of the guy who spotted him at the gas station. He was also there with his boss, Beek. He also learns that Beek is going to ransack the area soon. Gai Jiyoung heads out on her date with Taehyun where they discuss music together. Namely that of Nirvana. I'm so excited, Taehyun says. Gai Jiyoung starts to well with excitement. I can't wait to go home and listen to it. Oh no, on the way out the door, Gai Jiyoung finally plucks up the courage and asks Taehyun if he'd like to be in a relationship. Or date casually, either way. Taehyun is certainly taken aback, and it prompts a flustered Gai Jiyoung to hurry away, feeling rejected. As she does, she enacts the memory loss plan, with Chang-hee giving her a push on a motorbike driven by Do-hwan. Unfortunately, that little push ends with her hand being sprained and wandering home sobbing. The plan is a complete bust. Poor Gai Jiyoung is embarrassed and her pride is shattered. Chang-hee shrugs it off as a sign of her overdramatic attitude. As she sits to eat food with the others, she toasts that she can get over this. Gai Jiyoung admits she feels better now after airing out her issues, believes she should have done this a while back in order to get over her feelings. As a rainbow appears in the sky, everyone marvels at it, including Chang-hee who vows to get a promotion. Taehyun takes a picture of it, while Gu and Mi Jiyoung stare at it too. My Liberation Notes returns with another good episode, this time diving into the psyche of our main characters and revolving around the central theme of love. Specifically, we see Gai Jiyoung's plight as she remains conflicted over whether to tell Taehyun the truth about how she feels or not. Eventually she does, but everything goes awry in hilarious and heartbreaking fashion. As Shang-He himself mentions though, life is just a series of embarrassments. It's such a simple, innocent and somehow profound quote that rings true, when you think about it. I'm sure everyone can remember a whole bunch of embarrassing moments from the past. Speaking of the past, we also see more details surrounding Mr. Gu, and what he may be hiding. The revelation that there appears to be people after him, and this could be linked to something that he's hiding is a pretty big reveal, and something that could prove to be devastating, especially if the past and present collide together. The entire chapter is poised nicely for a dramatic set of episodes to follow next week, and judging by what we've seen thus far, it certainly looks to be one fiery encounter.